everyone, welcome back to more Ace Attorney. So last time we did some more investigation stuff. Now we're gonna go into the trial. Next, well, part of the trial, I guess. And I think we're gonna be wrapping up this case soon. It seems like it, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Yeah, let's go ahead and just get started. Ugh. Okay. All right. Good morning, Max. Oh yeah, good morning, sweeties. You don't seem like your usual sparkling self today. I was like this before I go in front of an audience. I'm working up to it. Tee. Oh. Don't get nervous, Maxie. Here, have a glass of milk. Regina. How fabulous. My sweetie pie princess. Came to watch my performance today. Of course I did. Mo told me that I should come and watch this. Mo said that? So what kind of performance will you put on today? Let me guess, you'll fly at the end? It's not that kind of show. Isn't that right, my sweeties? Huh? I think my sweetie pie princess doesn't... Yeah, she doesn't even seem to realize what's going on. Or where she is. Well, Max, it looks like it's time to raise the curtain. I'll see you later today. I'm just a member of the audience. Fabulous. Enjoy yourself out there. Good luck, Max. You're the best. Regina's different, don't you think, Nick? Top of the morning to ya. Everybody, let's get ready to get stuck in legal limbo. How long can you go? Mo. Top of the morning to ya, Governor. Top of the morning. That's the ticket. Attacking the day starts with energy in the morning. Early bird gets the worm, but then again, worms lack higher brain function. Here, Max, I brought you a present. Have some milk? Oh my, thanks. So how are you today, Wright? Well, got the feeling today I'm going to face off against the real culprit. You mean Acro? Huh? You think you did it? Be careful. He's used to putting his life on the line, literally. He's got guts to spare. All I gotta worry about is how thin the tightrope is. I'm used to it already. It just means I won't be able to press him like I can other witnesses. What are you going to do then, Nick? Guess today we'll have to do without our usual psychological warfare. Today we rely on evidence. It's the only way we can get past Acro into the truth. You're right. It's gonna be tough. Anyways, I want you to make sure Regina sees it all today. It's important. Then she'll finally have to deal with the reality of what happened to her father. You want us to make sure Regina watches? Yes, that's why I brought her to court today. What's that supposed to mean? She needs to know that when people die, they don't just become stars. I may be an old-fashioned clown, but I don't believe in people becoming stars. Oh, wow. Okay. Here we go. Just lower it a little bit. Okay. Court is now in session for the trial of Maximilian Galactica. Prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well, Miss Von Karma, you may proceed with your case. Prosecution would like to revise the previous history of events. What is the meaning of this? We have discovered a new witness, or shall I say, a new eyewitness. One that saw Maximilian Galactica fly off from the scene of the crime. Order, order. I had a feeling something like this would come up. Due to the revision, we are now prepared to explain how the defendant flew that night. An explanation what the prosecution will present if need so arises. In fact, my detective stayed up all night creating a mock-up of the scene on my orders. Poor Gumshoe. Very well. Please call your witness to the stand. Time to get to work. Or shall I say, time to walk the courtroom tightrope. Name and occupation. Ken Dingling, but everyone calls me Acro. I'm employed as an acrobat at the Big Berry Circus. Where were you the night of the crime? I was in my room that night. If you look at the map, you will see the witness's room is near the crime scene. My room is on the 3rd floor. The crime scene is below my window. The night of the crime, the witness saw something quite shocking. Oh? What are my games updated? Would you tell us what you witnessed? Okay. What I witnessed. It was just after 10 p.m. and I was resting in my bed. Around that time, I heard a loud thump noise from outside the window. Then a few moments later, I saw someone flying right by my window. It was Max Galactica. I only saw him from behind, but that's who it looked like. To be honest, when I saw that, I thought I was dreaming. This witness's testimony matches up with that of the clown. If that's the case, there is very little prosecution need to add. All that's left is to explain how the defendant disappeared into the sky that night. Before we get that far, I'd like to cross-examine the witness. A foolish choice, but a foolish fool who wishes to feel the foolish sadness of a sad fool. A man must know the proper timing for things, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Just like your old friend, Mr. Miles Edgeworth did. Mr. Wright, do you have a problem with the witness's testimony? In the words of Miss Von Karma, may I quote yesterday's proceedings? There's no way that actually happened. Very well, you may proceed with your cross-examination. Why should you bring him up, bro? Is that the time to do it? I was making sure I was recording. Okay. It was just after 10 p.m. and I was resting in my bed. Around that time, I heard a large thump noise from outside the window. Then a few minutes later, I saw someone flying right by my window. It was Max Galactica. I only saw him from behind, but that's who it looked like. Oh wait. I just realized I was... Of course he is. Challenge will be to expose his lies in court. Put the pedal on the metal. I forgot we were doing the cross-examination. I was just reading everything after again. Okay, well let's get information from this, I guess. So that you're resting in bed. One with us that assumed that you turned your lights off in the room, correct? That's correct. There are safety lights around the outside of that lodging house. It's so bright, sometimes it can make it hard to sleep. If that's the case, wouldn't it be a good idea to close some curtains? Never really thought of that. I guess that means I'm off to buy some curtains. Sometimes I do make myself useful in these chambers. Oh! Witness will proceed with this testimony. Around that time, I heard a large thump noise from outside the window. Okay. Thump noise. Your room is on the 3rd floor, right? Yes. You said you were resting in bed? That's correct. But you were still able to hear a sound from outside. I was indeed. Pressing acro doesn't seem to get results. Maybe something was contradictory in what he just said just now. Oh, she was dropping to the back of the head. What was it that they said before? What the clown said? I don't remember. Oh, I don't remember. For now, let's just say there's nothing wrong. What's the matter, Mystery? Nothing, Your Honor. Till I can find a clear contradiction. I should tread lightly. Okay, yeah. I guess that was a smart move for now. Are you sure it was a human being? Could have been a mannequin, or perhaps a large action figure. Well, setting aside the possibility of a mannequin and an action figure is plausible. You have no need to mince words with Mr. Phoenix Wright. Testify to the truth and only the truth, just as we were there with you that night. I believe it was a Hewitt. Okay. Strict in this testimony. Ako's statement jives with facts. Okay, this one also. Okay, let's just say there's nothing wrong for now. Nothing, Your Honor. Okay. So that's an option there, too. Okay, let's see what he says here. The light in your room was turned off then, right? That's true. I was going to bed after all. So lights off, you were still able to see clearly a human fly by your window. Safety lights lit things up enough for me to see it, but honestly, there was only enough light for me to see the silhouette outside my window. It was a person's back, so I couldn't see the white roses on the front. Any other type of symbols. Clearly saw the silk hat, as well as the cloak wrapped around his body. I'm convinced that the person I saw was Max Galactica. Maybe there's something fishy with this latest bit of testimony. He saw the hat on? Wasn't it left behind? Okay, hold on. I'll come back to that one. Let me just see what else there is. Would the hat... Would he have seen the hat fall? I don't know. Okay, wait. Actually, I don't even know if that... Let's just press that. When did you start thinking that what you saw wasn't a dream? Not important. I believe that prosecution has done a bit of maintenance on the witness's testimony. Just make sure, let's ask the witness. Objection. Sustained. Don't sustain that! Akra must be lying about what he saw, right? Okay. Okay. Let's press this again. The safety lights lit things up enough for me. Honestly, there was only enough light for me to see the silhouette outside my window. Any other type of symbols. Silk hat as well as the coat. Okay. Let's try this. There's a huge contradiction with the testimony that was just given. If there's a contradiction, then prove it with evidence. She's right. Let's see some evidence. Do you have any evidence to support your claim of the contradiction? You claim to have seen the exact same thing that Mo saw that night. Do you stand by that? What do you mean? The silk hat. What about the silk hat? I saw it in Max's head as he flew by my window. Well, you should have tried looking down out of your window that night. That would have been quite difficult considering the state I'm in. Just looking outside the window was tough enough for a challenge for me. It's a shame because you would have noticed the silk hat found in the scene. That's the ringmaster's hat, right? I'm afraid not. No matter how you look at it, this is Max's silk hat. Where are you going with this, Mr. Wright? Are you saying that Max has two silk hats? No, this is a handmade, one-of-a-kind model only made for Maximilian Galactica, which means Acro. You've been fibbing on the stand. Order, order! As always, it looks like someone just had to open their mouth before thinking. Are you okay, Nick? Well, I opened my big mouth and now I have to back it up. How about it, Mr. Wright? What would cause this witness to commit perjury on this court today? He has a grudge. He definitely seems like he has a grudge. Perhaps it's because Acro has a grudge against the defendant, which is why he's trying to frame Max. Ow! Why me? What did I do? Never get your fat head in the way of a whip bent on finding justice. Mr. Phoenix Wright, I have no interest in your silly little theories. He has a grudge against the defendant, huh? You wouldn't happen to have proof of that. Well, that's the thing. Mr. Wright, thanks to you, I got my head lashed by Miss Von Karma's whip. I don't like getting hit for nothing, so how about you answer with an explanation? Oh, so that was wrong? Doesn't that seem very bold to say he's the real culprit? I feel like we don't have enough evidence. Let me just save, just in case. I mean, I didn't lose any points, but... let's just go with it, I guess. Your Honor, on this occasion, the defense accuses Acro himself. On this occasion? Accuses Acro? What in the world are you accusing him of? Obviously, we accuse him of the murder of Mr. Russell Berry. It does make sense that it could be him. Mr. Wright, are you serious? Deadly serious, Your Honor. I think your trips to the circus have served you well. You seem to have learned how to try and grab at an audience's hearts and minds. Your Honor, don't allow yourself to be swayed by theatrics. Trying to wow the crowd with smoke and mirrors is the oldest bluff in the book. Really? If you don't believe me, just look at the witness. He's calm enough for it to almost be scary. He's staying rather calm and collected. Mr. Dingling, do you have any response to the defense's accusation? I don't really need to say a thing, do I? What do you mean? Everyone, take a good look at me. Can't even stand up by myself, let alone leave the lodging house. That's true. I understand that Mr. Wright is just trying to help with this client. But to do this by accusing me of a murder of all things. See, even a sliver of common sense makes it clear the accusation is ludicrous. Way to pick on disabled, you heartless cruel man, oh my god! Phoenix is a poopy head. See that, Mr. Phoenix, right? If you're trying to drum up the support from the peanut gallery, that's how you do it. Huh. It's enough of this little game. Got a doctor's note to confirm that Acro is unable to stand under his own power. Maybe the defense is planning on making a claim to counter this as well. I can hear the defense now. Acro had an accomplice. No, I don't see a possible accomplice. Unless the monkey? Does the monkey count? Let me see. I don't think it was Regina. The monkey honestly could have done something. I don't know. Let's just try. It's possible for Acro to be the murderer in this case. If that's the case, then it's natural for one to consider possible accomplices. You don't say. Not good. Not good. This isn't going to end well. Don't tell me you think you're going to get off easy. What? You must not have heard that sound just now. Maybe it wasn't clear enough. The sound of you falling into your own trap can be hard to notice sometimes. Mr. Wright, it seems as if you won't be stopping at Acro, but will be making other accusations. Acro did not have an accomplice. Things are not looking good for you. I understand, Your Honor. Oh god. Let's continue. Who perhaps would be Hector's accomplice? I guess this is going somewhere. You don't say. Uh-oh, this is suddenly looking very, very bad. Don't tell me you think you're going to get off easy. Oh, that didn't work? I don't think it's any of these other people. Still in a coma. Do you think he could have been lying about his brother? I really thought it was the monkey. Oh no. As far as we're aware, he's in a coma. Maybe he didn't have an accomplice. Maybe I'm going the wrong direction. Either I could do the ringmaster or I can do this. I wonder if they were originally trying to get back at Regina, and because he took the note, he ended up going, and they ended up getting the wrong person. This is stupid, isn't it? This piece of evidence is lacking in persuasive power. This setup be revealed. So maybe he doesn't. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I guess we'll say he didn't. This must be when we hear the name of the mystery accomplice. Not this time, Von Karma. We'll go with this, I guess. What? You're not going to sucker me into this one. What are you blabbering about, Mystery? There was no accomplice. Acro planned to commit this murder all by himself. I mean, it's not impossible. Order, order. What are you getting at? Way to keep them on their toes, Nick. Now I'm going to have to prove how all this fits together. I have to show how Acro murdered Russell Berry. Can you do it, Nick? Can you really do that? I know what I can't do. I can't stop now. If I stop attacking, I'm doomed. Alright, let's do this. Mr. Phoenix Wright. If this witness is the killer, then his eyewitness account is all lies right. Mr. Wright, I'd like you to clear something up for me. When the crime was committed, exactly where was Dingling? Well, he was in his room. He could have, like, dropped some, because he got hit in the head by a blunt object. He could have just dropped it out of his window. He's obviously here the entire time. That's Acro's room. Pretty simple, eh? Acro wasn't able to leave the lodging house by himself. In that case, there could only be one correct answer. Acro didn't leave his room to kill the ringmaster. Are you nuts? What are you saying, Dingling? It's an interesting theory. That's it? Considering what you propose is impossible, yes, that's it. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. As the witness has stated, your assertion is impossible. He is in a wheelchair. There's no way he could go to the scene or be the killer. You got a point. It seems you've forgotten once again, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Defendant was clearly spotted at the scene of the crime. That's true. Almost said that he saw Max, didn't he? But Maya, it's still impossible for humans to fly. Do you mind if I ask a question, Mr. Wright? What is it? I understand some of your logic. However, how do you think that I killed him? If I can't leave my room, I obviously couldn't wear Max's costume. How did he do it? 6 courses of this legal buffet. Be careful, Nick. If you mess up here... She's right, I can't mess this up. I gotta give this some serious thought. Sure that Acro killed the ringmaster. And he did it while he was in his room. No doubt about it. How he committed the crime. Oh, he could have used the statue. Because the statue's still missing. Could have easily mistaken it for Max. He could have draped the cloak over the head or something, and then like lifted it up. That's safe. Okay, let's present evidence. What did Mr. Dingley use to commit the crime in the mirror? Okay. What's that? A picture? It is indeed. The problem is with the item that's shown in the picture. The bust. It's quite a large bust, and because it's a life size, it is also very, very heavy. Heavy enough to guarantee a certain death, especially if it was dropped from a 3rd-story window. Uh-oh. See, this is how Acro was able to kill the Ringmaster. The force of gravity and Maximilian's Galactica ample bust. Order! So you're saying the bust fell onto the Ringmaster. It's a rather simple crime. Even if you were stuck in a wheelchair, it would be incredibly easy to commit. Excuse me. How'd you possibly wheel a wheelchair with something so heavy? It's impossible. Well, Acro is an acrobat. He should have more than enough upper body strength to carry something like a bust. Mr. Dingling, how do you respond to these charges? Well, I was at a loss for words. He should be. He knows I'm getting close to the truth. Well, Acro, you can't run away from... Oh! I'd watch what I say if I were you, Mr. Phoenix Wright. But, Your Honor, the physical health of the witness is material to this case. I demand we could get proper testimony from the witness himself. Testimony you say. Von Karma. She's just using this testimony as a rouse to stall for time. There's absolutely no need for such testimony. Defense has its version of the murder. Prosecution has right to respond. Defense's objection is overruled. Why can't he see things in my way once in a while? Okay. Sir Dingley, I'm sorry, but we need you to testify about your physical condition. If you have any doubts about your ability to testify, you can request expert testimony. The witness will have no problems, however. Let's all be respectful towards him. Thank you. I argue that woman will sink to any low to win this case. I suppose I could have lifted something the size of that bust. I have an upper body from working as an acrobat, and only my legs were injured. However, lifting the bust and looking out the window would have been impossible. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. That makes for impossible for me to have known the location of the Ringmaster's head. Thus, it would be unrealistic for me to drop the bust on him, don't you think? I have no doubts in regards to the witness testimony. It was impossible for him to lift the bus and stick himself out far enough to look. Not to mention that he could not have known the location of the Ringmaster's head. The single false step would have led to even more severe injuries. That's what I was thinking. What is your opinion on the matter, Mr. Wright? I still like to proceed with my cross-examination. He's simply stalling. Shameful, really. I can't let her get to me. I gotta focus. Okay. Okay. Have you ever lifted up the bus before? No, I never actually lifted it up with my own 2 hands. But I should get to it, don't you think? Can't let money outdo me on this. Money? Crazy Monkey has lifted Max's bus before. Please continue with your testimony, Mr. Dingling. So what have you been doing to keep in shape? Well, honestly, I've given up on training. I don't have any plans to return to the trapeze or the tightrope. You don't say. But no offense, I'm not worried about losing to you in a race or anything. Nor am I, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I wouldn't lose either, Slowpoke. I mean, Nick. Whoa. How did the discussion turn to me all of a sudden? Suppose you could say that I'm stronger than the average bear. Why is that? Because if I were able to do that, I'd end up falling out of the window myself. Still haven't gotten much feeling back in my legs yet. So you couldn't have thrown that bust out the window. How long do you think your recovery will take? I think I read that wrong. You have to remember that my nerves were severely damaged, apparently undergoing some extremely intensive rehabilitation. But it's going to take a while before I'm back to 100%. Let me remind you another very important point. The witness was carrying the bust. He would not be able to see out below the window. Why do you say it would be impossible? Allow me to explain. You accept that if I was carrying the bust, I couldn't see out the window. Thus, there's no way that I would know the location of the Ringmaster's head. Well, I suppose you got a point. Hey, Nick. Huh? What if you turn things around? Maybe you can think of it sort of like this. If you knew the location of the Ringmaster's head, then it could drop the bust. That does make sense. Could prove it somehow. Now, Acro knew the location of the Ringmaster's head without looking down. I think I've already explained things sufficiently. The box, right? Because he was on top of the box. Oh. Yeah. So he would have walked up to the box. Yeah. Okay. Ekro, didn't really need to lean out the window, did you? What are you driving at, Mr. Wright? You already knew ahead of time where the Ringmaster's head was going to be. Quite precisely, I may add. You're silly hinting at things as pointless, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Enough stalling. How about you show us some evidence? But I did such a good job hinting. Yes. Hurry up and explain things, Mr. Wright. Maybe we should take a look at this. The key point here is the wooden box. The same wooden box that the victim was found hunched over? The same. Question is, who placed the wooden box there? Who? When Ben and the company saw the ringmaster, they didn't see him holding a box, which means that this wooden box was already placed at the scene of the crime. I have to admit that your theory makes a lot of sense. The moment that the bust came falling down, exactly the same moment that the ringmaster lifted up this wooden box. Which means that the answer to all these questions is now crystal clear. You mean, if the bust were to fall upon the point marked out by the wooden box, then there's no way that it could have missed the head of the victim. No. Order, order, order. This is unbelievable. Finally, some of these loose ends are starting to tie up themselves up. Now I just gotta keep going. There's only one way to go on from here. Forward. So next question I have is, who placed the wooden box at the scene? There's a dingling, of course. He connected it to a rope, and then all he had to do was lower it down. Allow me to whip some sense into you. Mr. Phoenix Wright. Oh! Ringmaster's head could have been anywhere when he lifted the box. That's why the box was so specially made. Specially made. Indeed. It had the most peculiar feature. The weight of the box? The box has remarkable weight. Wait. According to the record, it weighs 20 pounds. Just to lift this wooden box would have required. Oh, I see. One would have to squat down, then lift it with their body. Wouldn't you say? That's exactly what I was trying to point out. The box is also very large. The box also was carrying handles on either side, doesn't it? That's correct. To lift up the box, you have to squat down. Which means, no matter who you are, your head would be in approximately the same place. Fool. Does he even bother to listen to me anymore? I've heard what you have to say. I must admit, I'm shocked at your imaginative skills. Okay. I was like, sure my sound was working. Everything was okay. Did you do it? Did you place this wooden box down in the plaza? Mr. Wright, may I have a vivid imagination, but I could never have done what he's proposing. What? Mr. Wright, do you recall the original location of Max's bust? I remember. Of course I remember. It was on top of the table in the cafeteria. Then what happened to it? I'd like you to remember one important fact, Mr. Wright. I could not possibly leave the lodging house by myself. That means... You understand what I mean, don't you? This is where the monkey comes in! Okay. I may have very well been able to drop the bust from my room. However, how could I have gotten the bust from the cafeteria to my room? You see, Mr. Phoenix Wright, explain that. Don't forget, you said there is no accomplice. Oh! Tell us exactly how the witness would have carried the bust from the cafeteria. Definitely will have a problem here. No place to get perplexed. Gotta get my wits about me and prove how things happen once and for all. I mean, I guess the monkey would count as an accomplice. It's a monkey. Alright, Mr. Wright, let's hear your explanation. How did the witness get the bus from the cafeteria back to his room? Oops. A monkey. Everyone knows money. He loves shiny objects of any size. Oh, like when he stole the ventriloquist's ring. So are you saying the witness had a monkey steal the bust? Of course he didn't order the monkey to steal it. The monkey stole it on his own, and then brought it back home. Exactly. Home. Money lives in Acro's room. Acro's room? But the bust was bronze, wasn't it? Bronze isn't all that shiny. Maybe you should put the whip down sometimes to read the court record. My, those are some very nice cards he's holding. Yes, they're made of platinum, which is very shiny. Ugh. Acro. Money is a strong monkey, right? It'd be easy for him to bring that bust back to your room. If he wasn't able to handle that himself, I'd be on the market for a new remate. Order, order. I said order, Miss Von Karma. Where is the bust in question at the moment? I don't know. We're searching for it as we speak. This is a rather strange turn of events. But let's say that the monkey had not stolen the bust. What would have happened then? Well, in that event, someone else would have been used as the murder weapon. Something else? Wait. Then you mean this bust was the murder weapon purely by accident? It's possible. Maybe Acro saw Money's mountain of stolen goods and thought to use one of them. Anyways, I think we've proven then... I can't read. Oh my goodness. I think we've more than proven the one critical fact. Namely, that it was entirely possible that Acro was the murderer. Moron. Mr. Wright's argument was so circular, I'm still a bit dizzy. However, his argument does hold water. There's no denying that. Don't seem so flamboozled, especially by this fraud of an attorney. Fraud? You've forgotten the absolute most important thing, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What is that? You should know. Forgot that your fraud of a magical client was spotted at the scene of the crime. There's no reason to doubt the clown's testimony. That's true. How do you respond to that, Mr. Wright? Nick, don't let her beat you now. I won't. This is my chance to turn this trial around. When the murder occurred, there were two people at the scene of the crime. One was the victim, Russell Berry, and the other was the murderer himself. Answer this and only this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Who was the murderer the clown saw? I guess it could have still been the bust, right? He saw Max's I asked who the other person Mo saw was on the scene. The evidence has nothing to do with this question. I'll question him unfair. Did I even say it right? It does indeed have something to do with this question. Mo said that he saw Max's silhouette. But he did not actually see the man himself. It wasn't a human being he saw. How is that possible? Simple, really. What Mo actually saw that night was Max's bust. What are you talking about? Have you tried using your brain at all in this case? The silhouette he saw was wearing a cloak. There's no reason why you couldn't attach a cloak to the bust. It would be easy to hang one off the cards and the bust in the hands. Idiot. Who in their right mind would put a cloak on a bust? Doesn't matter who put it on the bust. Wait a minute now, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? That question is the utmost importance to this case, don't you agree? Duh, he caught me. Let's have it, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? Well, I guess that would have been Acro himself, right? I wonder, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Didn't the defendant wear his cloak the entire time he was at practice? So then how did this person get a hold of the cloak? Well, Furthermore, how would this person have gotten the cloak onto the bust, I wonder? Because this person was not spotted at the scene. I'm sorry. Oh, that was wrong? Carrot and whip approach. Shoot. I mean, they saw someone... Would it have just been the ringmaster then? I don't understand. Fool! Him? You're saying it was the victim himself, Russell Berry. That's what I'm saying. I guess this is working. I mean, the victim put the cloak on the bust. Place the cloak isn't really the right way of putting it. Then what would be the right way of putting it, Mr. 8? Explain yourself. Nick, do you really have a handle on all this? I'm fine, Maya. I'm really finally putting all the pieces together. There's really only one picture I can paint anyways. Alright. So you want to know what really happened that night. Let's take a step back in time. Okay. Acro used a rope to lower the wooden box onto the scene. He attached that rope to the bust and dangled the bust out of his bedroom window directly above the wooden box. At the same time, the ringmaster told Max to wait in his room, and he went to the scene, of course. At the time, the ringmaster was wearing Max's costume. Perhaps he didn't want anyone to recognize him that night. But just as he feared, he was spotted at the entrance of the lodging house. None other by the ventriloquist and his puppet, Ben and Trilo. When the ringmaster arrived at the scene, he bent over to lift the wooden box. That's when Acro took his chance and released the rope. Now this is when the magic happens. At this very instant, the bus hit the victim. Oh, it got caught in the cars? Wait just a second there, Mr. Phoenix Wright. As much as you try, as much as you scheme, this isn't true. It can't be. It's still a little early to be getting so upset, Miss Von Karma. The circus isn't over yet. What? The impact of the bust on the victim threw the cloak up, which snagged onto the bust. The impact also caused the sounds of a certain witness. That impact also caused the sound of a certain witness heard, pausing in to take a look. That witness was, of course, Lawrence Moe Curls the clown. When Moe looked out his window, the cloak had already snagged onto the bust. Now, having completed the crime, Acro naturally went about pulling up the murder weapon. Of course, he had no idea that Moe saw the bust being raised, with the cloak dangling on it. Primarily because in his wheelchair, he couldn't see out his window, so he just kept pulling the bust up. And that is how the magical murderer disappeared into the sky that came to be. So you see, the only person who could have pulled this off is the person who was able to drop the murder weapon from above the crime scene. Acro, it could have only been you. Acro's been playing mind games with all of us. Sure has, but he has to come to the end of this rope now. So, what now? You've graced us with a rather long-winded tale, but do you have any evidence to prove your fairy tale is true? Evidence. In this court, only two things matter: the power of evidence and the power of my whip. Don't forget the power of my gravel as well. Mr. Wright, the prosecution brings up a good point. Can we see some evidence? Nick, they say they want evidence. I just explained how there can only be one possible murder method. But there's still something unusual about Mo's eyewitness account. Unusual? A contradiction, actually. Okay, then. Use that and get out of this jam. It's enough talking amongst yourself. Proceed, Mr. Wright. Present some evidence to support that Baxter claims. I want hard proof that you have unraveled the trick to this magic case. Was testimony? So this? I have no idea. It says. Oh, damn it. I'm gonna die. They've been silent for 2 more seconds, I would have screamed. Let me save so I can... I don't have to backtrack so far. Still something unusual about Mo's eyewitness account. I don't understand. What? I don't remember what he said. Oh. Fauna's Nexus 3 symbols. Silk cat, cloak, and white roses. Those symbols were a problem numerous times during yesterday's proceedings. Yesterday there were 2 contradictions in Mo's testimony. The silk hat was one, the white roses were the other. But the theory I just presented explains all those contradictions. Oh. Okay. Yeah, that was a little weird. You fool, don't you ever shut up. Max's silk hat was found at the scene of the crime. However, remember what Mo said yesterday. He testified that the criminal he saw fleeing the scene was wearing a silk hat. There's only one explanation for that. The silk hat that Mo saw was actually the bust. Makes sense. If you look at it that way, then he did see the silk hat. Well, sort of. Fine, you've got one, but what about the other contradiction? The other contradiction? Remember what Ventriloquist said in the court? He said that he witnessed white roses on Max's chest that night. The clown's testimony doesn't match. The clown said that there are no white roses. I'd like to see you try and explain it that way. You do it, Nick? Of course, I can explain all of it. What was that? Please recall the incident when the cloak snagged onto the bust. The cloak snagged onto the bust. What happened to the white roses? It would have got tucked underneath. Do you get it yet? If the cloak snagged onto the front of the bust, it meant that the white roses would end up on the back of the bust. Which explains why Mo didn't see them. The white roses were not visible because they were on the back side of the bust. Order, order. This is quite the shocking state of affairs. Mr. Wright's theory still sounds a bit absurd to me. But let's just keep going down this road for a while and see where it leads. Let's do this, Nick. Maybe Von Carmel will finally throw in the towel. Well, so much for that theory. Mr. Wright, do you mind? What is it? You took the time to research our circus, didn't you? Well, yes, I did. Is there something making you think I didn't? If you did, then maybe you'll understand why I think you're off track. Why is that? Motive. This witness feels an incredible depth of gratitude toward the ringmaster. Anyone with any relation to the circus is well aware of this. That's because he didn't mean to kill the ringmaster, he was targeting Regina. Because there's absolutely no way someone like this would kill the ringmaster. Your Honor, I would like you to hear Akro's story. Learn about his relationship with the ringmaster and his life up until now. What do we do? There's no doubting that Akro deeply respected the ringmaster. Akro's motive. Seems that this case isn't over yet. Very well, however, I feel this is a good place to take a break. Listen to the rest of Mr. Dingling's testimony after recess. This court will now take a 10-minute recess.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Yes! That last one was a little weird, but it's alright. I guess I figured it out. I'm kind of guessing.
Oh well. Okay.
So, yeah, I don't think he was trying to kill the ringmaster because of the note. The note was given to Regina from Akro, and Regina posted on the wall. The ringmaster stole it, took it down, made him panic, so he went there himself, and he ended up being the victim. So I don't think he's never targeting the ringmaster. He's targeting Regina. So that's the only thing that makes sense anyways, because he clearly has respect for the ringmaster. But yeah. Well, that'll be it for now. Next time we'll see what's going on at the recess and do the next part of the trial and see where that goes. A little crazy, but yeah, be it. So see you next time. Be enjoyed. See you later. Goodbye.